I'm back. I'm here to start a new reading vlog. I don't know how long this reading vlog is gonna go, but because it's technically Summerween, I threw all my Summerween prompts in a jar, and I just threw in a bunch of prompts of books that I don't normally physically read. So I have about like 18 prompts in here, some random picks, and I'm just gonna read some stuff outside of my comfort zone. I do not know how this is going to go. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos catching up from when I was in Aruba, and I just heard a lot of genres that I have never really read before. I have some dark, like just general prompts like dark romances, mafia, paranormal, horror. All the Summerween prompts are also in here. This is a mug I got from the Unplugged book box, one of their hodgepodge boxes. So I'm gonna see what comes out of here. I tried to do this last night and I got too tired and I fell asleep. So that book I decided to put away, and we'll see if it gets picked. I'll probably still read it, but we will see. I'm gonna see what gets picked. I'm really excited because I tend to be a very, very read the same exact genres over and over and over again, and I would like to try some new things. So let's see what prompt gets picked. Ooh, it's a small one. Read an arc. Okay, so I have to read something on my Kindle, which I don't normally read arcs. I'm so bad at reading arcs on my Kindle. So I'm going to go find one that I'm most excited for, and I will report back. Started reading and then I put down. I'm going to pick up Pretty Dead Queens by Alexa. I'll put the photo here, but I think it's by Alexa something. It's the same author that wrote The Ivies, but here's a photo. To Goodreads is Seaview High's homecoming queen is dead, and she's met not the first. From the critically acclaimed author of The Ivies comes a nonstop thriller about a decade-old mystery, a copycat killer, and the teens who won't stop until she discovers the truth. This sounds so much like the Nancy Drew season 1, so I'm really excited. It probably has nothing to do with it, but their thing was called Seaview or something very, very similar, and there was a prom queen that died. So this sounds really, really interesting, and I haven't read The Ivies, but I'm super excited for this one. And it's supposed to be like inspired by Murder, She Wrote, which I'm so excited for. So I'm going to start this, and my goal for today is to make it through my entire YouTube queue and do that, make some progress on my reading, and because I didn't really read anything yesterday. Yesterday was sort of a day that I just took off because I had to do a bunch of filming. I prepped a lot of, I filmed my whole ALA Holland section, so it's a lot to film. But yeah, I'm gonna go read and catch up on my YouTube queue, and I'll talk to you guys before I go to yoga, and I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. It's in my favorite reading spot recently, but when the puppy's not here, I can actually sit here because she just gets a bit distracted. But I did wind up reading the first 6 chapters in Pretty Dead Queens. I am liking it. I sometimes struggle with thrillers because the characters are super unlikable, but I really am liking this one. So you follow this character, oh my god, I cannot think of her name right now, but her mom recently passed away, and she winds up moving to this small California town with her grandma, who she doesn't really know, who is like this world's version of like Jessica Fletcher. She writes a lot of murder mysteries, and she is very invested in all that. Like, her grandma is very, very famous, and she sort of gets thrust into this world, and she's sort of dealing with the grief of her mom. She sort of gets thrust into a friend group, and it's coming up on the anniversary of Homecoming, which is when someone from her grandma's past, who's loosely inspired by her first bestseller, died in a very, very tragic way on Homecoming night. So that's sort of where we are right now. I'm really liking it. It's really, really a fun read. It reminds me of reading like cozy mysteries or murder mysteries, like murder mysteries that I like. I have very specific tastes when I pick up thrillers, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm about 17% in. I have about 6 hours left, which is doable. So I'm going to try to get to like 25% or like 5 more chapters, and then I'll give you guys another update. I'm also trying to make it through my YouTube videos today. I'm on Reagan's, all these videos are for like June, so I've just been very, very far behind, but I'm on one of Reagan's reading vlogs, and I'm going to give that a chance, and then I'm going to probably go for a bike ride today. I didn't go for a bike ride yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to read about 5 more chapters, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. A little bit of a different angle. It is still so hot, so I don't know how long I'm going to make it out here. The puppy doesn't want to be outside, so I might go inside in a little bit. We'll see. But I do wind up getting up to chapter 12 in Pretty Dead Queens. I'm about 32% into my read. This book is basically about a copycat murder. So the murder that has been copycatted has occurred, and I'm really liking the main character. There was a lot of characters in this story. Like I would say like the first 10% was all introducing you to these new characters because she moved to like a new environment, and even like realizing who was killed was a little bit confusing, like, oh, who is connected to who. So but she's very much right off the bat, she thinks, oh, this is a copycat murder because it's based on a situation that happened in her grandmother's book. I'm enjoying it so far. It's a really, really fun, quick read. Like, I have no idea who could have killed this person, so I'm very intrigued. But yeah, I'm liking it. I really, really like her writing style. I like that it's you root for the main character. I think she's also going through a lot with the death of her mom rather recently. She's a little bit isolated because she doesn't really know anyone. But I'm enjoying it. There's also hints of romance, which I'm enjoying. So I'm gonna keep reading, and when I get up to like chapter 15 or 16 or 17, I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. I think I'm gonna go for a walk because I didn't get to go for exercise pretty much at all yesterday, so that's the plan. But I did wind up getting up to I'm about to start chapter 15 in Pretty Dead Queens, and I am really enjoying this story. Like, I'm loving it a lot, and a lot more than I probably thought I would. But I'm really liking it. It's just, it's again, it sort of reminds me of like a murder, like a cozy mystery, because she's just sort of putting herself in these situations, and me as a reader, I'm like, I would never do that. I would never get myself involved in these situations. But she does feel like she has a little bit of like buy-in because she knew the girl that was killed. You know, her grandmother also wrote these novels, and like it's connected to the first murder that happened a while ago that sort of inspired her grandma's writing style. It's also very much about books because her grandma writes a lot, so I'm really intrigued. There's also like the potentiality of like a love triangle, which I've been reading a lot more of this summer. Like, a lot of books have love triangle elements to it, but I am liking this one quite a bit. So I'm on chapter 15. I'm about 43% in. YouTube Cube update. I have about 89 videos left. I know, it's just a lot of videos. It just is, and I just have to get better at watching them in like a timely fashion. But I did listen to 2 chapters of my Percy Jackson audiobook because I'm in the middle of that. My goal for tonight is to just relax, watch some TV, and read my Kindle. I'm going to charge this while I go for a walk. I'm going to take my audiobook for a walk and just walk and exercise because it seems like it might rain and I want to do that before it rains. Come back, organize myself for this week, and after that I'm going to start reading again, and I'll give you guys an update about what I wound up listening to. I doubt I will start an audiobook before then, but we will see. Bye, friends. Just got back from a walk. I did wind up listening, and now I'm progressed farther in my podcast listening. So I'm on the last out episode of Prophecy Radio. This summer has been very, very wild because I haven't really been home, so I feel like I'm behind on everything. So I'm trying to catch up on my podcast. I'm trying to catch up on my YouTube videos. So it's just a lot. But I really am loving Pretty Dead Queens. I'll say that. Like, right off the bat, I'm really enjoying it. It reminds me of like almost reading like a cozy mystery. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully read for a little bit tonight. That's the plan, and just get through a lot of my videos. My parents might put a fire on tonight, so I might go outside and read, but I have to charge my computer a little bit. The puppy keeps coming in and out, so sometimes she's a little bit distracting, but she's very, 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 very cute. So I'm going to read for a little bit. I'll try to get all my ducklets in a row for this week. This week is a little bit busy. It's my last full week home, and then I go away again. So actually, yeah, I go away next week. So trying to like get everything in order. I'm trying to convince my mom to take me to Barnes & Noble tomorrow because it's the last day of the sale. I might look on BarnesandNoble.com and see if there's anything I really want. Maybe I'll just put in an order. We'll see. But I really am liking this book quite a bit. So I'm going to go read for a little bit. Maybe go outside. I will see. And I'll talk to you guys when I read about 5 more chapters. And then we'll check in. Bye, friends. I'm going to do a quick update. I'm laying on my bed. It's a little bit more comfortable. It is almost 9 o'clock. I did wind up getting up to 60% done in Pretty Dead Queens. I'm really liking this. It really does remind me of a cozy mystery. Like, that is literally what I feel like I'm reading, but I'm liking it. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I like how all the characters are sort of interconnected, and it's just so fun because she's sort of starting to uncover this mystery, and she's so new to town, so getting her to have people talk to her, figuring out the motives, I'm really enjoying it. You don't get a lot of like YA thrillers that like have this element to them. Maybe a little bit of when I read when I read the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. I got that a little bit, but this one really does feel like a cozy mystery, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, very, very fun. I'm 60%. I have 3 hours left. This is normally when I get to a point in a book when I like want to keep reading, and it's almost 9 o'clock, but I really just want to keep reading. So we'll see how long I last. Also, YouTube Cube update. I have 85 videos left, which this is like half of them. So I just added like a lot of people to my watch list. So when I do my next watch list, it'll probably be longer. But that's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go read a little bit more, read about 5 more chapters, and give you guys an update. I at least want to read 5 more chapters tonight and see where we are. But yeah, I'm on chapter 20. So I got chapter 25. I'll give you guys an update, and we'll do a time check-in. Right now, I have 3 hours left. And I'm 60%. So, but if I get to the 80% mark, I'm just gonna keep reading for tonight. So we'll see. But I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Really enjoying it. I really like the main character, and I have no theories about who did it. So we will see. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick update. It's about 10:30. I got up. Well, I'm about to start chapter 26. I'm about 80% into this book. Really liking it. It's like a mashup of things. It reminds me of reading a cozy mystery. It reminds me of reading the Hannah Swanson series. It also reminds me of reading or watching Pretty Little Liars, and it also reminds me of watching Nancy Drew. So there's a lot of elements into this story that I really, really like. The thing about Cecilia's character is like she's going through a lot. Like she's grieving her mother, she's in a new situation. So a lot of her actions to me seem very like out of the blue, and like, why would you put yourself in these dangerous situations? You don't need to be putting yourself in these situations. But as the author's note said, like, you don't know what you would do with grief. So like I think she's just frantically trying to, figure out what's happening. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very compelling. The one thing about this book is like it's sort of like watching like a TV show. So like there's a lot of characters, and I think like the side characters that we met in like the first 20 to 30 pages all sort of blend together a little bit for me. Like all the names are super similar, and other than like the main character, like other than Cecilia, everyone's personality just sort of meshes together because they're all super similar. But I do really like Cecilia's character. Normally when I read mystery thrillers, like especially YA or adult, they're all like really unlikable characters, and it's hard for me to like have any buy-in for them because I don't really care. I do like Cecilia, so that's like a buy-in right off the bat. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna read another 5 chapters, hopefully, and just see how far I could get. But I'm really liking it. Like I think I'm starting to get some theories, like who is the killer. But unlike when I read like some cozy mysteries, I can sort of like pick a killer off right off the bat. This time I really can't. So I'm intrigued to see how this story winds up. I doubt I will get through, I doubt I will be able to stay up 2 more hours and finish it. I might, we'll see. I always pass out at like midnight, but we'll see. I would like to finish it just because I'm really intrigued to see how it is. I feel like I'm watching like an episode of Pretty Little Liars or an episode of Castle, like where you just want to know who the killer is. So I'm really intrigued. I'm gonna keep reading. And I don't know, I'm enjoying it. I don't want to talk spoilers because this book doesn't come out until October. But it does motivate me to pick up her other stuff, so we'll see. But I'm gonna get back to reading, read about 5 more chapters. So when I get up to chapter 30, I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. It is 11:30. I stayed up pretty late reading. But we're right to like the tail end, and I can tell the story is gonna get good, so I'm probably gonna finish it tomorrow. But I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna watch a couple little things before I head to bed. But I really am liking this book. I don't know who the killer is, and normally when I get to this part in like a coziest mystery, I have a hint. I don't really have a hint. So she really fleshed out the side characters enough, and I'm intrigued. So I'm gonna update you guys tomorrow after I read a little bit, and then we're gonna choose my next read. So tomorrow's a busy day too. So I have to wake up, I have to do my morning routine, all that other stuff. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends. It's about 8:37. I did wind up waking up. I did my morning stuff. I worked out. I read, oh, I didn't actually show you that for the book, show you the book I'm reading for nonfiction. It's Find Your Unicorn Spice by Evie Rodsky. I'm about 100 pages into this. This is going to be my nonfiction book for at least the foreseeable future. Probably, I might bring this one to me when I go to Universal just to have something in the morning to read. But yeah, so I'm going to go tackle the rest of Pretty Dead Queens. When I went to bed last night, I was really at, like, the climax of the story. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go read the last 54 minutes of this. I'll give you guys a check-in, and then we'll figure out what I'm going to read next. Also, YouTube Cube update. Again, I'm really far behind. I have 73 videos, and that is not including all the videos that came out when I was in Aruba, so it's a lot. I will catch myself up. I'm going to go watch some love triangle romances, and I'll come back when I'm done with this. Bye, friends. Finished Pretty Dead Queens by Alexa Don. I devoured that book. I read that book in like less than 24 hours, and if I wasn't so tired, I probably would have finished it last night, but oh my goodness, such a good book. I loved it. I really struggle with thrillers sometimes because they really have very unlikable characters. Like a really good example is I recently read In My Hands I Hold a Knife, or In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and I didn't like that book at all. It was like one of my least favorite books of this year so far because it has super unlikable characters. This book, however, I really enjoyed. So many twists and turns at the end. I did not see, like, when we got to the point where we were like at the end of the story, I did not know who the killer was, and it was a really, really good read. I gave it 5 stars. I really hope, like, we get more books following these characters because I really love them. The one thing I would say is I think that, like, if it is a first book in a series, I think I'll give it a little more leeway because, like, as the books go on, I think you can sort of flesh everything out because you met a lot of characters super quickly in, like, the first 50 pages. But I really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Now we're going to choose my next book. I'm going to go get my jar and we'll see what I'm going to read. I don't know what I'm going to read. This reading vlog was supposed to be about reading things outside of my comfort zone, so we will see. Let me go get my jar and we'll pick the next book, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to read next. And I'm going to try to pick one out of the jar. This doesn't always work. Okay, it says to pick up a sequel. So let me go see if there's a sequel on my TBR that I want to read. What I'm going to pick up is This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. It is the sequel to This Poison Heart, which I actually read around this time last year. I just got my notification that I read it like on TikTok, my old TikTok account. My new one is linked below. But yeah, I'm going to pick this one up. It's not that long either, and I've been trying to read some quicker reads just to sort of get it, read a bit quicker, but I haven't really been the best at reading sequels, so, but this cover is stunning. So pretty. So I'm gonna go start this, maybe do some prep stuff. I have a meeting in a little bit virtually, so I'm gonna get ready for that. And if I read any more of this before my meeting, I will give you guys an update. But this cover is so pretty. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. I had a meeting for something connected to this channel, which took a little bit longer than I thought, and then I had to rearrange a couple of things. You will see that the name of my channel has changed. I have a video coming up probably before this that sort of explains it, just to sort of unify everything. And I did not make any progress on This Wicked Fate at all. I read 2 pages and then I got really, really distracted. So I filmed the video. The Magical Readathon dropped. Their next installment is going to happen in August. So I was sort of prepping myself for that because I actually have to do my TBR for that early next week. So I have to have everything all set because I'm going away before August. So I have to like prep everything a little bit early. But my goal is I'm going to get some dinner and then I'm going to read because I finished reading this morning and then I had a meeting. So I really didn't get a lot of reading done today. But I'm hopeful to get some more reading done. So that is my goal. I'm going to restart this book because I literally have not read a page. And then I will update you guys when I read about 50 pages. That was the plan today, and then it just didn't happen. So I will report back. Here I'm back. I did wind up reading about 50 pages in This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. I will admit, I am a little bit lost because it's been a bit since I read this book. And I remember when we left this Poison Heart, I was like, a lot happened. So I feel like I just need like about 50 more pages to sort of get my gears running, because there's a lot of characters in this story, a lot of names, and like the first book in the series left off on a massive cliffhanger where a lot of things went horribly wrong. So I'm just trying to get my my bearings. But this book has more like a quest element to it and saving somebody element to it, which was very different from the first book. If you haven't read this Poison Heart, it's like a secret garden retelling, sort of. Very, very LGBTQ plus story. And this book is more God focused. Like, I don't remember that in the first book, that we have a Persephone character, we have a Hecate character, like a couple of gods in the story. So it's like loosely based on the gods, like Hercules and Medea and stuff like that. So overall, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I'm gonna read about 50 more pages and see how I'm feeling. See if maybe I should reread this Poison Heart and see how I'm feeling. But I'm gonna give it at least 50 more pages and then I'm gonna make that decision. But to be a little bit extra cautious, I'm gonna see if it's on Audible or if it's on any of those places for free. But I'm gonna go see it, because I feel like I should probably reread book 1 before I do this, but we'll see how I feel. I'm gonna give myself 50 more pages. I just want to do another quick update. It is almost 9:36 and I did wind up getting up to page 102 in This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. This book is a lot more mythology than I remember the first book being. Again, it's been a bit since I read the first book, which I did enjoy, but this book is really feeding my Percy Jackson heart and soul. It's very mythology based and like very adventure based, which I'm liking. It's also like very, that Bree is really focused on a couple of things. I just wish I maybe would have reread Poison Heart, but at this point I think I'm invested in, so I'm just gonna probably finish it. But I feel like I missed some key information because I didn't reread it. That's more on me. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm liking the mythology twist in it. Like, I think this book is going to be more mythology than book 1. Book 1 really did remind me of like The Secret Garden. So this book, I sometimes like when series do that, they like change their concept up a little bit. But yeah, this one's definitely screaming a lot of mythology to me. So I'm going to try to read another 50 pages. Again, YouTube Cube update. I didn't really watch any of my YouTube videos today. I only have 59 left. It's actually not that bad. It's a lot less than it was. So I'm gonna go back to reading. I'm gonna try to read until at least 1 o'clock. We'll see. It might happen. It might not. That's my goal. All right, I'm gonna read about 50 more pages and then I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Here, sorry I keep changing my angle. I'm just trying to read in positions that don't make me super sleepy. When I lay on my bed, I get sleepy. When I sit in my chair, I get sleepy. So I'm just trying to and it's so freaking hot today. So normally I sit outside and I'm not tired, but it is hot today. So I did wind up going to physical therapy for my ankle, which I haven't really talked about it, but my ankles have sort of sucked this whole year because we've been traveling as teachers. I've been traveling from class to class. I normally don't mind it. Honestly, I like traveling a lot better because the theater I teach in, or used to teach in, is just really, really echoey and it's loud. But it's just a lot of moving on my feet and a lot of going up and down stairs and quick fashions. I had to run upstairs and my ankles are sort of done. I also went to a book convention, which was a lot of weight on my back, and then I went to Aruba and the whole bottoms of my feet are peeling. So that's a lot of stuff. I also reached out to someone and I'm gonna get some new Instagram art and stuff, which I'm super excited about, like a YouTube header and stuff like that for Laura's Book is Life. I have a video coming out before or after this video that's explaining my new rebranding, just because I think it was time and now everything is the same. So, and if you look below, there'll be a link tree with all my stuff that's pretty much the same as get from my Twitter. But I did wind up getting up to page 145, so basically 150 in This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. I am enjoying this book. It's definitely a lot more mythology than I'm remembering the first book to be. And it's all about her questing to try to get her mom back, because her mom was left in a pretty precarious situation at the end of This Poison Heart. It reminds me a lot of reading a Rick Riordan book, And I didn't get that feel in book one. Book one really was a Secret Garden retelling. This one has a lot more depth and dimension to the story, which I wasn't really expecting, but I'm really enjoying it. So my goal is to finish this today. This reading vlog was supposed to be me reading adult books that I have never read before. Sort of didn't become that, so I do not know what the last book in this reading vlog is going to be. I have an idea of what I want it to be, so I'm gonna try to finish this book today. I'm also really gonna try to finish my YouTube queue today. Yesterday was like a weird day, so, but I'm kind of down to 53 videos. That's pretty good. There's a lot I still have to watch, but I'm trying to make it so everything is done by the time I go to Universal next week. So I'm gonna go read, play with my puppy, who you'll probably see running in the background because I'm home and she has to spend time with me. But I'm gonna go read, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Outside, because I realized that I only have so many months that I'm actually able to sit outside before it gets too cold. So I have to suck it up when I can, because I don't get nearly enough, especially with summer when I'm actually home and I can relax and sort of sit outside. So I wound up getting up to chapter 15 and page basically 200 in This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. I'm really enjoying this book. Again, it's definitely not what I expected in a sequel, but I don't know really what I expected, because the first book was very much like an introduction to this world and figuring out what was happening. The very end of that story, there was a lot that happened. A lot of things were revealed, and this book is sort of taking that on a different level. But what it does remind me of is a Percy Jackson book, like a quest and an adventure, and then they're trying to gather something to basically save Bree's mom. And Bree has powers where she can control the nature, which I love. I thought that was so cool. One of my favorite movies as a little kid was The Secret Garden, and Little Princess. Those are my two favorites. So anything that sort of gives me a kitsch on that, I'm really liking. And also it is an LGBTQ plus story in many, many different ways. It's not just Bree as the main character who has an LGBTQ relationship. It's also a lot of the side characters as well. And there's travel in here, international travel, which I'm just really liking, and it just really reminds me that I'm reading a Percy Jackson book, which is not what I thought I was getting, but I'm really happy with it. And the story is just really complicated, but I'm enjoying it. It really does feel like I'm reading a Percy Jackson or a mythology read, and that's really what it is. I'm a big fan of Prophecy Radio. I listen to their episodes every single week, and it really does feel like I'm reading something basically in the Rick Riordan Present world. So if you are looking for some new books that are sort of inspired by mythology, I would definitely pick up this series. I would just warn you, book one doesn't really focus that much on it, but book two does. So, and I think that this is a duology. But yeah, I'm going to go read another 50 pages and then see how I'm feeling, see if I'm still going to sit outside. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Also, YouTube Cube update. I know this is just the nature of the beast right now because it's a lot of videos. I have 50 left, which is actually not that bad. But again, I'm probably going to add 50 more when I actually go through everything. It just was the last, June was a hard month because a lot of things came out in June and I was not on Netflix. I watched 3 shows on Netflix in a row, and then I just didn't watch anything on YouTube. So that's why I have so many videos. But I also am adding a lot of things to my YouTube queue. I also recently got Kindle Unlimited, and see if I'm going to like it. I doubt I'm going to keep it, but I have a reading vlog planned, and I knew that a lot of the books on that reading vlog are going to be on Kindle Unlimited, so I kind of bit the bullet and got 6 months for $30, which I think is worth it. I don't think $9.99 is worth it for me because I barely read on my Kindle, but I figured I would try it. But yeah, I'm going to go read another 50 pages, probably fill up my water again, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. It is 3:40. It's not that bad. I mean, again, I'm used to really no AC, so unless it's steaming and I'm in the bright sunshine, I can pretty much stay outside a long time. Sorry, my hair is a little bit messy. I'm getting it done tomorrow again. But I did wind up getting up to page practically 250 in This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. I'm really enjoying this book quite a bit. It's just it's like when I read the Warcross series by Marie Lu. I read that a while ago. That was one of my first con books that I devoured. I read that book so quickly. But I'm really liking this book. I think it's definitely different from the first book. Sort of like when I was reading the Fallen Star and Fallen Moon series by Gracie Kim. Those books had two very different concepts, and sometimes in series I feel like the second book syndrome happens because book one and book two are ridiculously similar, and it's hard to differentiate to tell a different story. But these two books were so different, and I'm really enjoying it. But the elements, like, you know, her powers with the like growing stuff, that's still very, very prevalent in this story. But the gods in this story have a very, very big presence, and I don't think I would have expected that from book one. So I got up to page 250. I have about 50 pages left, I think. Let me just see. Is it about 50 pages left? Yeah, I have about 50 pages left. So I think I'm going to try to wrap up this read and then give you guys my thoughts. I really don't know what I want to read next. So I'm going to read, keep reading, watch a few more videos. I'm getting through my YouTube queue. I do want to get some dinner at some point and then go for a bike ride now that it's like cooled down. I also went to physical therapy today, so I don't think I'm going to go for a walk today. But I feel like I accomplished a lot more today because I got stuff done. I filmed a couple of TikToks. I want to film a TikTok when I'm done with this Wicked Feed. I also did get a new TikTok account, and that is going to be linked below when this video goes live. Just because I changed all my names and everything, so it will be a little bit easier. But I will talk to you guys when I'm done with this Wicked Fate, unless something pretty dramatic happens where I have to interrupt my reading. Don't foresee that occurring, but I could be wrong. Sorry, my hair is a little bit messy. I have to take a shower. I have to wait for my dad to get out of the shower and put my hair down. That's beside the point. But I did finish this Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron. I really like this book. I think I went in like a little bit hesitant because I hadn't reread this Poison Heart. This book was like in a very different direction than the previous book. This book had a lot more to do with quests and gods, and you know, it was a very, very quick read. Like, it was just over 300 pages. But I think it was really effective because normally when I read books that are like second books in a series, they suffer from second book syndrome. And I don't know if this is like just a duology, but there could definitely be more in this world. I really enjoyed it. I just like how the LGBTQ elements were sort of infused in this story. So it wasn't just Bree that had an LGBTQ relationship. Her parents were LGBTQ+. There's a lot of side characters. So this book really fed that way. And I think that the story got a lot of closure. I love the Secret Garden elements, but I also loved how this story really did focus more on the gods. And as a Percy Jackson fan, this book was really, really fun. So I really enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like, I would say like 4, maybe 4.5 stars for review. I thought the story was very, very compact. I feel like the end could have been fleshed out just a little bit more, but overall I really enjoyed it. So this reading vlog did not go the way I thought, because I thought that a lot of the stuff was going to get picked were going to be like adult books. That did not happen. So going with the trend of things that I don't normally read. I don't normally read arcs, which I'm like e-arcs, which I'm really, really bad at. I don't normally read sequels. So to sort of go around with this train, I'm going to read an inspired by, and I'm going to pick up In Every Generation by Kendra Blake. This is the first book in a new series about Willow's daughter from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I'm going to pick this up. I read about the first like 50 pages, I think, and then I got a little bit distracted. So I'm going to pick this book up, and honestly, that's what I need. I'm really watching a lot of YouTube videos trying to catch up, and I honestly can't read a fantasy right now. This is, obviously it's a fantasy, but like, just a little bit easier to read. So that is the plan. Yeah, I'm going to do that tomorrow. The puppy is supposed to get her shot, so I'm going to read for as much as I can tonight and just sort of relax. It was really, really hot today, so I didn't really do as much stuff as I wanted. But yeah, I'm going to pick up In Every Generation, and when I read about 50 pages, I will give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Checking back in. It's almost 9:13. I did wind up reading the first 50 pages in Every Generation. So this book series is through Disney Publishing, and it's by Kendra Blake. The last Buffy book series that I read was through Simon & Schuster, and that was like called Slayer and Chosen. So that was a different series. This series I'm actually liking a little bit more because it's connected to the Buffyverse. Like, the main character in this story is Willow's daughter, and you're probably thinking, if you've watched Buffy, how does Willow have a daughter? It's all explained in this book. But basically what happens is you have Willow's daughter Frankie, and she's the main character in the story. And you start off this book with a different character that you meet later. And at the start of this book, there is something that eliminates the Slayer line. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you'll read the book to figure out, but there's something that eliminates the Slayer line. And due to Frankie's origins, she is the next Slayer. So right off the bat, you have a couple of characters from the Buffyverse that I'm really liking. You get to see Willow again, you get to see Xander and like Oz, and there's a lot of fun stuff happening in this story, and I'm really enjoying it to see Spike again. So just like the cast of characters in this story, I'm liking a lot more than the other one, because the other one was like loosely connected, but for the most part, it didn't really involve like fan favorite characters. So I'm really liking this like quite a bit. I only read about 50 pages, but I'm enjoying it. Willow's my favorite character. I can do a Buffy like wrap up series if you want, because Buffy is one of my favorite shows of all time. Willow is one of my favorite characters, so to see Willow again, I'm really, really happy. But yeah, so really enjoying it. I'm really liking Frankie as a character, and we also have a side character named V, and she's loosely connected due to the Slayer line as well. Really liking it. Also, YouTube Cube update. I only have 43 videos left, so I'm getting there. I will have more because I'm really, really far behind. But my goal is to read at least 50 more pages, and then I'll give you an update. This is the part of the book that I pretty much read, and now I'm moving on to new material because I did read part of this during the Avengers reading challenge, and then I just moved on to another book because I had to. So, back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. I just got my hair done. It's super wet because they dried it. They washed it as before they did the braids, but my braids are in, which I'm super excited about. Last night, and it got up to page about 100 in Every Generation, and I really am liking it. Like, I like that we not only get Frankie's point of view, but we also get Willow's point of view throughout this book, which is really what I want in a sequel series, especially because Willow was my favorite character. And I'm really liking it. I like how we get to see a lot of the side characters, like Spike and all those other things. So I'm really enjoying this book. It is a steaming hot day. I actually woke up a little bit early. I went for a bike ride when I was before I got my hair done. So hopefully I can stay inside and read. But I'm going to try to make some progress. When I get up to page like 200 in this, I'll probably give you guys an update. This reading vlog is getting a little bit long, but I'm really liking it. If I feel like I need to update you guys when I get to 50 pages in, when I get to 150 pages, I will. But we will see. But so far, I'm really liking it. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Right here, I'm just trying to sit outside before it gets too steaming, and I can't because it's going to be like 95 degrees today or above that. But I did wind up getting up to page 150 in Every Generation by Kendra Blake. If you are a Buffy, if you like the TV show Buffy and your favorite character was Willow, I think you would like this book. I really do. Like, I'm loving it because it's really feeding all the elements in the stories that I love. Like, Willow was my favorite character in Buffy, and I like that you get to follow Willow's daughter. And I also like that you get to see, like, Oz again, you get to see Xander again, you get to see Spike again. But this book series is definitely more connected to the Buffyverse than Chosen and Slayer was. Like, those books were a little bit different, but what you basically have is you have Willow's daughter, Frankie, is the new Slayer. There's a lot of stuff that led her to be in the new Slayer, and I feel like there's a lot of mystery and intrigue, like how she became that, but she's also a witch because of her mother, and how Willow got pregnant with her is a lot of mystery, but I'm really liking it. There's also a side character named V, whose sister was a Slayer, and that's how they're connected, and then you have Oz's brother or nephew that is also connected to the story. But I'm really liking it. I feel like this would be a great spin-off series. Like, if they want to do a Buffy spin-off show, this would be a series that I would be totally game for. But I know that, like, the Buffy world, people are very, very, like, you know, it's complicated, especially because it was created by Joss Whedon. But I like this book quite a bit. I feel like it's exactly what I wanted, and I'm so happy. I'm so sad it took me so long to read it, but it's really like reading a TV show, and I'm just loving it. Like, I think I like Slayer and Chosen, but this one I think is better, and I'm just really, really liking it. So I'm going to read another 50 pages. I'm going to try to stick it out until another half an hour, and then I'm probably going to go inside. I just get super tired when I read inside. That's why you always see me reading outside when it's summer, because I love it. The puppy hates it, so the puppy's inside. Trying to stay hydrated as well. But YouTube Cube update, I'm making some significant progress. I only have 32 videos left, which is incredible. I don't even want to see how many videos I have to watch. I literally don't even want to see it because I know it's going to be insanity, but that's okay. So I'm going to go read another 50 pages and then I'll give you guys an update. My goal is to finish this book today. We'll see. The puppy's also going for her shots today, so I want to spend a little time with her. But yeah, so that is the plan. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think that I'll do, when I talk about it in my reading blog, when my wrap up, I will probably give you guys a few more information, but I'm liking it. So, take that with what it's worth. But, I feel like, again, whenever I read these tie-in novels, I always feel like I'm sort of like watching a TV show. And this one does have that, but I do like how Kendra Blake is sort of crafting the story and reintroducing you to classic characters, because that's what I like in my tie-in material. So, all right, I'm going to go read another 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends.
Friends, I'm back. I did wind up trying to read a lot more than I originally normally do because this reading blog is super long. But I did wind up getting up to page 304 in Every Generation by Kendra Blake. I'm really liking this book. It reminds me of almost like I'm sort of reading a TV show. Like, it reminds me of like maybe like it would be a season of a TV show. And I do like that. I like that it is very connected to the previous world of Buffy. That is one thing that I'm really, really liking. I like that we get to see all the characters. I like that it does have consequences from the previous, from the previous stories and iterations. I love seeing Willow as a character. It's been like so long and I'm just loving her as a character. I'm also loving how we get like other characters from the Buffyverse, like Spike, and I just really do like Frankie because she's a really different character. And I think this story could have done something very, very simple. It could have like followed like basically a cutout of what Buffy was, but it really did make it different, and I'm liking that. So about 100 pages left. So I think is this, yeah, it's like I have about 72 pages left. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of a reading break, organize myself for the night, and then I think I'm just gonna bow through and finish it. That's my goal. YouTube Cube update. I made some significant progress. I only have 22 videos left. And I don't think any of them are like over an hour. One is. Um, yeah. So I think I might save one of them for later because it's like really, really long. And I just don't want to watch any like long videos. So yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go take a shower, organize my life, finish this, and then I'm going to wrap this reading blog because I have a really fun reading blog planned next and I hope to start it tonight. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends.
Lori here. I just want to actually wrap up this reading vlog because I did wind up finishing In Every Generation by Kendra Blake. This is the Buffy tie-in novel that follows Willow's daughter. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really, really solid read. This book is like clocking in at almost 400 pages, so I think the tail end of it, I think a lot of it could have been condensed. But again, this is an arc. It is entirely possible that the real book is a little bit shorter and had a few condension. But I really like the plot in this story. It was really interesting because, like, Buffy was mentioned in the story because of Willow and Xander, but it was not a Buffy story. It really followed Frankie and her journey. And I loved how Frankie was sort of able to, like, develop her own Scooby game. I'm really excited for book 2. I just got it at ALA, so I'll probably read this one soon. But I really enjoyed this. I would probably give it like 4.5 stars overall. So this reading vlog turned into YA books that I don't ever read, and I actually had a really fun time this week. I read Pretty Dead Queens, which is an e-arc that comes out in October, which is like a cozy murder mystery set for the YA set by Alexis Don. I gave that 5 stars. Then I read This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Barron, which I also gave 4 stars to, or 4.5 stars to. And then I read In Every Generation by Kendra Blake. So I actually had a pretty good reading, couple of days where I read some things outside of my comfort zone. Just stuff that I don't normally read for the YA genre. But I'm really excited for my next reading vlog. That's going to really break some boundaries, and I'm really excited for that. Out of all the books that I read, I think Pretty Dead Queens was definitely my favorite. But I also really liked everything else. So let me know in the comments what you're currently reading. If you were a Buffy fan back in the day. If I think you were a Buffy fan, I think you'd really enjoy this. Especially if Willow was your favorite character. And I'll talk to you soon for my next reading vlog. Bye, friends.